IDW's best Transformers run was tragically cut short. IDW's Beast Wars comic ended in 2022 after 17 issues. But it was an excellent revamp of the Transformers sequel that surpassed its G1 colleague. For nearly 2 decades, IDW Publishing handled the comic books for Hasbro's Transformers line, creating a long-running series that updated and sometimes radically redeveloped the robots in disguise. The result was an era that was quite well received by many fans, though it's now come to a close due to IDW losing the franchise's rights. Just before IDW's time with the Transformers came to a close, however, the company published a new take on one of the franchise's best iterations. Beast Wars was a once controversial part of Transformers history that's now considered as classic as Generation 1 and its comics. IDW's reboot of the series came just in time for the 25th anniversary, and it had the potential to be the best version of the Beasts yet. Here's how IDW successfully maximized the 90s revitalization of Transformers. IDW's Beast Wars was what the fans wanted. Beginning in 2021, the IDW Beast Wars series from Eric Burnham and Josh Bersham was the first of its kind in years. Following the renewed mainstream interest in the franchise since the beginning of the live-action movie series, Transformers as a brand had either gone in completely original directions or stuck closely to the mold and cast of the Generation 1 era. Thus, there had never really been a major revisit for Beast Wars, namely due to it being quite different from the aesthetic of the franchise. IDW's comic book celebrated the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars, and in doing so made sure to bring back the characters and concepts that fans have come to know and love. Maximals and Predacons familiar to the show's viewers made their mainstream return, with new characters such as Nyx also joining the fray. They were all cast in Bercham's unique art style, which heavily resembled the cartoony designs of Transformers, animated, while characters were portrayed in a way that was accurate to their classic portrayals. The comic made sure to not simply redo what fans grew up seeing. This kept even the most classic elements fresh and gave potential newcomers the same feeling that audiences got from Mainframe's cartoon back in the 90s. Extra bits of backstory were also given, namely the initial name of the Predacon Megatron and how he came to name himself after the original Decepticon Megatron. Thus, even die-hard fans got something new to enjoy, with the project as a whole clearly being a labor of love. IDW's Beast Wars reboot was better than its main Transformers comics, despite being based on the less popular Beast era. IDW's Transformers, Beast Wars was largely better received than the main Transformers title. In the initial IDW continuity, many of the developments for certain characters became increasingly controversial, though many fans also disliked the idea to end that timeline. When IDW rebooted their Generation 1-inspired universe, the books weren't quite as well liked as the old continuity in its prime, with many bemoaning the sluggish pacing of some books. Beast Wars was the exact opposite of this, getting right into the action and making each issue count. Said issues would feel almost like TV episodes, showcasing just how close to the animated series tone and spirit they were. As mentioned, the characters were also clearly inspired by their original takes, with Burnham not deviating from their original characterizations for the sake of being different. When entirely new things were implemented, it was through original characters such as Nyx and Scold or Transformers like Polar Claw and Razorbeast who weren't in the cartoon. This allowed the creative team to have its cake and eat it, too, in terms of fidelity and creativity. This begs the question of why the book wasn't given more of a push when it was released, but the fact that it ended on a strange number means that the writing may have been on the wall for a while. This saw the series wrap up its narrative far before it was likely intended to, making way for the property to leave IDW. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts is finally bringing the characters of Beast Wars to the big screen, but before it does so, IDW mastered how to update the bestial bots and make them just as entertaining as the Autobots and Decepticons.